Good morning and welcome to Morning Moments. How many's ever read a big, long, thick book? You start from the beginning and you go all the way to the end. You don't want to start at the middle. You don't want to start at the end. You start from the very, very beginning. And you work your way through the book chapter by chapter. If you would read the last part of the book, the first part of the book would not make any sense. You'd be confused. You'd not quite understand where the story's going or how it developed. It's kind of like watching a TV series, and you may have watched season 1 or part of season 1, and then somebody shows you the TV series, and you watch season 6 or 8 and an episode there, and you'd go, well, what happened to that character? Why isn't that character there? When did they marry them? When did they lose their house? When did they gain all that money? The storyline had changed. The plot changed. The characters developed, and somehow you weren't there when they all developed. And it seems strange seeing the end of the movie or the end of the series or the end of the book and not reading the first chapters of our life. You know, I'm getting old enough now to look at a lot of chapters of my life. I hope I have a few more chapters to go. But I go back and look at some of the chapters in my life. I got sent a picture of our 2-year-old grandson, our youngest grandchild of 8, and he turned 2. And just last night, 4 of our grandchildren in Atlanta, we FaceTimed with them, and we watched them and yelling at each other and playing around and saying hi to Grandpa and Grandma, and we waved at them. And August was there with them. August is this little guy right here. He's 2 years old. The picture on the left is his daddy, our son. There's Chad when he was about that same age, maybe a little younger. But I look back at chapters in my life, and that was one of probably the best chapters of my life. When Chad was that age, or a little older, and he goes for walks, and he cuddles with Daddy, and he jumps on Daddy. I watched August and his interaction with his daddy, my son, last night, and it brought memories back from when my son was that young. And what a wonderful chapter that was in my life. The chapters in a book, they turn and they change. The characters develop, the plot changes, the storyline thickens. There are wonderful chapters and there are dark chapters in our life. But we are the sum of our parts. All of those chapters make us who we are, the good or the bad. Yeah, hopefully we make good decisions, and I tell people, if you turn your life to God and trust in Him, He will direct your path. But those chapters in our life, they keep moving on. And sometimes we want to stay in a chapter in our life where the chapter's over. Turn the page, move on. It's time for the next chapter. Characters develop, storylines change, plots change, lives change. If you are not careful, you could be looking back on old chapters too much, or looking ahead to the new chapters that you really have no control over, and not live in the chapter you're in. Live in the moment, because that moment doesn't last long. You know, I tell my son and I tell both my sons, my son and my son-in-law, to live in the moment. Enjoy your kids when you have them at their age right now, because you'll never have that back. And yes, I see my grandkids being the age my kids were, but that's a grandfather's chapter. That's not a parent's chapter. Live in the moment. Enjoy what you have now, because it happens and changes so quickly. The things that you do in this chapter will affect the next chapter. Make your choices, wise choices, careful, prayerful choices. But enjoy the moment. Enjoy the time you have now, because the pages will turn one by one. At the end of the book, when we take a look at the end of the book, we want to go back and say, we are here at the end of this book because of what we did here, with no regrets. Live for the moment. Hey, thank you for joining me for more Morning Moments. Tomorrow I am attempting to have a guest tomorrow. First time I've ever had a guest on Morning Moments. I'm hoping technology-wise it'll work out real good. I'm really excited about that. And I hope you come join me tomorrow. And keep coming back for some Morning Moments Monday through Friday. And if you enjoy it, pass it on to somebody else so that others can be encouraged. Thank you all, and you all have a great day.